Well, it finally happened. SoulCalibur VI got announced. I guess 2017 is just that year for fighting games because it's doing really dang good at it. 2018 is gonna have a lot of big releases, and SoulCalibur VI is gonna be one of them. I'm about a year late on what I expected the release to be. I expect the release to be this year and the game announcement to be last year on their 20th anniversary, but I guarantee they were working on the game last year, and the fact that they withheld the announcement until the game was mostly complete is a very responsible thing to do. I'm looking at you, Capcom. So I'm really glad to see that the game is going to be coming out. I'm really glad to see that it is a combination of mechanics from SoulCalibur 2 and 5, which are my favorite ones. I love the mechanics in 5, but it just had some major roster problems and a few mechanical problems that made it a little bit frustrating. But it seems like they're addressing the problems people are complaining about. They're adding accessibility, which worries me, but I feel like they're probably going to be responsible about it. Tekken 7 was pretty responsible about its accessibility. It added some things that made it easier for players to come into it, but those things aren't good enough that they put them on par with top level players. MVCI, I'm looking at you, putting accessibility over depth. But yeah, I mean, of course, it's been doing fine. All the fighting games that have been adding accessibility have been doing good. MVCI is probably not the best example I could have used. I could just go straight for the gut, and Street Fighter V's accessibility claims pretty much ruined that game, at least for me and a lot of other players. But they're doing one button supers, which I don't see a reason that there needed to be a motion for the supers, because it is a little unintuitive to have a double fireball motion in a SoulCalibur game. Like, that was weird, but I don't know, it makes it a little more satisfying to hit because you did have to time it right and stuff. But now it's just one button, that's fine. There's another new one button system mechanic that I find to be particularly interesting. It's a little Injustice clashy, it's a little mind gamey. Hopefully it ends up being some good meta to it, but I don't have hopes for that mechanic being really all that great. And I also don't think it's going to be as useful as people are claiming it is. People are thinking that it's going to be really busted, but I feel like it's going to be something along the lines of Street Fighter 4's focus attacks, where you get opportunities to respond to it, and it is whiff punishable as all hell. So even though new players will get to use it to counter some higher level play, it will be pretty easily beaten out by intelligent commitment decisions. As far as the trailer and the gameplay goes, the game looks gorgeous. I'm glad. I mean, like, I didn't expect it to look bad, but as current games have been going, you never know. But it's really pretty, and it's like Tekken 7 is gorgeous, so I guess Bandai really cares about these games, and I'm glad to see that. The character roster is going to be really good, I expect. We got Mitsurugi. They're like, okay, so we got the main important dude, and then we're bringing back Sofita, right? Because they needed to show us that they're listening. So I'm sure they have a roster pretty much already picked out, but they wanted to show us that something. They could have easily put another character in that wouldn't have told us much, but they didn't. Could have been like Mitsurugi versus Yoshimitsu, and then you'd be like, okay, is this gonna have the same crappy roster as SoulCalibur 5? No, it's not. It's gonna have Sofita and other characters, so I'm really glad to see that that is the direction they're taking this game in pretty much every front. The "we care about you" fans approach, and the interview was really good. I feel like a lot of good information was revealed. Very well thought out interview was given by the game's director, which has me hoping that he really knows what he's doing, which I'm sure he does. I mean, he's been directing SoulCalibur and they're awesome. So I'm just glad to see it back. As far as my hopes, I hope character creation is as good as SoulCalibur V without the clipping. That would make me really happy, but it should take a back seat if it would hinder the roster or the other stuff. So, but of course, it's a perfect DLC opportunity for them. So I only expect them to have a really, really good character creation system so they can cash in on that sweet, sweet, sweet Dead or Alive style DLC system. As far as DLC characters, I hope we don't have like second wave roster, but I think Bandai's being responsible enough with Tekken 7 that I can have hopes for the way they're going to handle this as well, but you never know. I mean, as long as it's adding something, as long as it's just not like, oh, we're gonna have this incomplete roster and then fill it out with DLC, that's good. So, I guess that's all I have to say, and I hope we are going to see great things within the next couple of months. Peace out, guys.